So I started to see people, colitis, I mean, just Crohn's disease, even cancers, even really difficult things start to transform in people. And I'm not sitting here and saying, I healed these people and I am this great healer and I will, you know, heal you. It's not about that. It's we're all healers, you know. We all have the ability to heal. Try it in your own lives every day. Physician, heal thyself. Work on yourself, work on your friends, work on your animals. Animals are great conductors of unconditional love. They love you whether you feed them, whether you pet them. And right on cue, here you are. And they respond incredibly well to when we run energy. When I do a specific healing, I work on horses and dogs and cats. I do a lot of hands-on healing on animals. And they're the best patients because they know exactly energetically what you're doing. They have no fear about it. They immediately go. Whereas some people, when I will go into their field, it shocks them. It's like, what is this? It's foreign to them. One of the most interesting examples of how some people don't want to be healed happened a few years ago. And I tape my sessions, we tape the session and they take the tape home. And there was a woman and she was very ill and she really didn't know, I don't think consciously, that I was a healer, but she was here for a reading or whatever, but she had a lot of physical problems. And so I had her stand up and I started to run energy. She actually recoiled and jumped 5 feet away from me like I had touched her with a hot poker. And she actually said, and she didn't know she said this, so we played the tape back so she could hear what she said. She said, I don't want to be healed. And I looked at her, I mean, it really shocked me because at first I was blaming myself. I thought, oh my God, did I touch her too hard? Did I hit something that was like a really, bad spot or something? And I said, do you know what you just said? You just said you don't want to be healed. And she says, no, I didn't say that. I said, it's on tape. We can play it back. And as we went on, she had a very vested interest in being sick. A lot of people a lot of people have a lot of control and get a lot of enjoyment out of illness. They may not really be hypochondriacs. Usually they're really they're in a lot of pain. And they don't know how to get out of it. And it does manifest in physical pains. You all know the same thing. If you are depressed or are feeling negative, your body will start hurting. The minute you feel fearful, the minute you think icky thoughts, you feel it in your body. There's mind over matter. The minute you start to have positive things happening, you may have had a horrible stomach ache or headache, suddenly it'll go away. So there are some people who get a lot of mileage. And it was really neat though, because I wasn't trying to make this woman embarrassed or feel bad, but I said, you have to listen to what you said. Oh, and she just cried and cried because she didn't have a clue. She was so fragmented, she didn't have a clue how much she needed that illness. I said, I will guarantee you will, trust me, you'll have a lot more friends and loved ones around you if you stop complaining. Let's just heal this now. So it was really cool. She was, then she flowed along. That was one of the most dramatic things I've ever seen of somebody just actually recoil. Animals, on the other hand, I'll go to a barn, for example, to work on a horse, and all the horses will want to get out of their stalls and come over. They know exactly what you're doing. Or I'll start working on, people will bring their dogs, cats in here, and the ferrets, they'll all come in the room. They feel it. Oh, she's doing that thing. I even have a wonderful healing cat. He's not in the room here tonight, Billy, and he did one of the most dramatic things I've ever seen an animal consciously do with healing. I had a man that was very ill with cancer a few years ago, and he was so ill, I had his wife stand behind him and run energy, and I stood in front of him. And it wasn't unusual for Billy, because usually he'll be in another part of the room and he'll know when I'm doing the healing. And he just, zoom, here he comes, and many of you have probably experienced it. He'll be right there, and he'll be right by your feet and purring and rubbing. He sees the light. There's no doubt in my mind. This cat sees the light. All of a sudden I thought, what is he doing? He positioned himself on the edge of the sofa. He put his hands on this man right where the cancer was. And he actually stood up, leaning into this man. The man was standing near enough to the sofa, literally for about 4 or 5 minutes. I would have given anything just to have a picture of it because it was so awesome. And he just had this, and the man just started crying. He just started crying, and he said, "What's your cat? Has your cat ever done that before?" And I said, "No, the cat's come in the room before, but the cat's never actually stood up and done hands-on healing with us." And he goes, "How did the cat know where I had this cancer?" And I said, "That's how love, unconditional love, healing works. It's not about lower mind knowledge. It's vibrational, it's frequency. The cat knew what to do." And it was just the most beautiful thing. I mean, his wife and I were, but boy, when that cat got in there, that's when because he was kind of like a real tough kind of businessman and real closed down. But the minute he realized what was going on with that cat and that there was no mistaking that, I mean, how are we going to train this cat to do this? I mean, there's no trickery, there's no foolery. Here's this incredible animal, and he's purring the whole time, you know, and putting energy in. He just cried, and I could feel his whole body soften, and I could feel him let go. Because that's all disease is, it's dis-ease. The last place for things to go are in the body, and it's always symbolic. You want to look at where you're holding tension, where you're holding pain in the body. So what I would like to do is demonstrate how Spirit first showed me how to do this, because it's something you can all play with and all try. So let's stand up and try this. What I do, and I don't know why, but Spirit told me, and I've tried different sides, but I'm most comfortable first with having the person stand sideways to me, and I go in on their right side. I put one hand on the lower back, I put one hand on the stomach, on the solar plexus area. This is a very powerful center. This is, if you think about your body being a microcosm of the universe, what is the center of your body? It's your navel. That's why Buddha is contemplating his navel. This is a very powerful center. And because it's so powerful, it's where we have our strength, our power, but it's also where we feel weak. And it's also where many people at first feel funny about being touched there, because we store our fears, we store past life memory. And if you think about it, what kind of terms do we use? We talk about gut feelings. It's because your gut will tell you if you are in an experience that is positive or negative, or if you're in an experience that someone's lying to you or telling you the truth. Listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you everything. It's right there. This is your center. So what I'm going to do, in accordance with your free will and highest good, we ask your mental, spiritual, physical, emotional bodies to come forward into present time for healing and alignment, so that only your highest good will manifest from this point forward. We ask Spirit to go in, even at a genetic cellular level, and bring forward your divine blueprint. I also visualize and know from doing this work that our bodies are incredible. They're just amazing. My hands actually have eyes and ears in them. So when I'm doing this, my hands send me pictures. They send me pictures of what is going on emotionally and physically in the body. So what I do is I start here, we open the center, I move up to the heart area. Then Spirit told me to do something really interesting. I'm going to have you turn. There's 2 points right here. And Spirit told me these are what activate our wings. And I said, are you nuts? What do you mean activate our wings? And I said, you'll see. Start rubbing people on these 2 spots. So I take my thumbs and I go in a counterclockwise fashion. And it opens up major meridians in the body, is what it does. And the reason I'm flicking my hands, and I'm not flicking this bad stuff on you guys, but you don't really have bad stuff. It's just as we open these energy centers, bits and pieces of icky, sticky stuff that needs to move will start to fly out, and I'll actually feel it. And so we just release it and it gets almost like a bug zapper. The light just zaps it.